In this video we are going to do part 2 of twin pregnancy. That is, mainly we are going to discuss the complications and how to manage the twin pregnancy. So first let us start with maternal complications. Okay, so what complications you can find in the mother, okay, during twin pregnancy. So the first thing is anemia, because you can understand it is two fetus should come out, so mother will have extreme weakness, that is she'll have low blood, anemia. And the second one is polyhydramnios. So why polyhydramnios? We already know in twin pregnancy we'll have polyhydramnios because there are two twins, right? Because of two twins there will be more urine output, and that is leading to polyhydramnios. Okay, and next another reason may be preterm labor. Okay, these are the complications in mother. And next you may have premature rupture of membranes. Okay, and after that, coming to third one, that is uterine over distension, because already for the one pregnancy only mother will have more distension. Here now two should come out, so or two are present already, so over distension of uterus and increased placenta size, because we need to produce nutrient to the two fetuses now, right? So these are the things which you will find in the mother. Once again I am repeating: maternal complications, mother will be anemic, mother will be having polyhydramnios, preterm labor, premature rupture of membranes, uterine over distension, increase in placental size. Now coming to uterine over distension. So if, as we discuss here, if the uterine will get over distend, it will lead to preterm labor, because it is uterine over distension, right? So already uterine is more distended, so now the fetus is ready to come out, so preterm labor or premature rupture of membrane is common. And next one is pressure symptoms. Pressure symptoms are like there may be respiratory difficulty, or there may be edema. So it's pressure symptoms, because already in one case of one pregnancy only mother will have a lot of respiratory distress. Here there are two fetus now, so more respiratory distress and even edema. Okay, and also you'll have postpartum hemorrhage, increased chance of postpartum hemorrhage. And there is also subinvolution of uterus will go inside after the delivery, because it's like very pressureful situation where two fetus are staying now in that small uterus, right? So now coming to increase in placental size. If you see here, when the placenta size will increase, it will lead to placenta previa, that is the placenta may come down near the lower segment of uterine opening, right? And increased chance of PIH, because placenta size has increased, so mother may have hypertension, that is pregnancy induced hypertension. And also increased hormone synthesis, many hormones are released. For example, you can take increase of human placental lactogen, increase of human chorionic gonadotrophin. So again, in turn, because of this increase, what happens, when the HPL will increase, it will lead to increased insulin resistance, right? And because of that there will be increased GDM, that is gestational diabetes mellitus chances are more, especially in twin pregnancy. And HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophin, will lead to hyperemesis gravidarum, right? So that is more vomiting sensations when compared with normal pregnancy. Okay, so these all are very high complication. Now coming to fetal complications. So now we have understood in the mother what is going on. Now in the fetus what is going on. Okay, let us see. So fetal complications, complications which are never seen in twin pregnancy are, remember, they are never seen, don't confuse with it. That is, macrosomia is never seen, and also post-term pregnancy is never seen. Always either it may be preterm pregnancy, but post-term pregnancy and macrosomia are never seen. Okay, and complications which are related to chorionicity and amniosity, except preterm labor, intrauterine growth restriction, okay, and which are related to number of fetus. Example, in multifetal pregnancy we need to do sometime fetal reduction. So except like you can take preterm labor, intrauterine growth restriction. Okay, and if you want to see, like sometimes we also have a chance to do fetal reduction. Sometimes if the fetus are very big and they are like two, right? So sometimes if the patient says that already I have a lot of children, so then you can do fetal reduction. For that you need to give one drug, that is intracardiac injection of potassium chloride. So if you give this injection, especially at 10 to 13 weeks of pregnancy, we can do fetal reduction, that is we can decrease one fetus and only one baby will come out. Okay, and now coming to most common complication of twin pregnancy is preterm labor. Very important, preterm labor is the most common complication. Okay, so now how to prevent this preterm labor. So let us see prevention of preterm labor. So prevention of preterm labor, there have some methods we need to adopt, like frequent antenatal visits. Okay, they should be frequent, and frequent USG. Okay, that is monochorionic every 2 weeks, dichorionic every 6 weeks. If the fetus is monochorionic, you know it will have bad prognosis, so for every 2 weeks we need to check. If the fetus is dichorionic, then no problem, but also we need to check for every 6 weeks. Okay, and we should say this female to have limited physical activity because already she's having two twins inside. Okay, so now coming to methods which are not adapted, like pregnancy women with twin gestation and with no history of preterm labor in previous pregnancy, then no need to have any adaptations. Advice: no progesterone, no tocolytics, no circlage, and no bed rest. Advise them they should not have bed rest. Okay, they should have limited physical activity, but they should not completely go under bed rest. They should have some limited type of physical activity. Okay, so this method should not be adapted, like they should not take progesterone, they should not take tocolytics, they should not take cartilage, they should not take bed rest. Okay, so all complications of twin pregnancy, this all complications are very heavier in the case of monochorionic greater than dichorionic twins. Okay, because monochorionic have a bad prognosis, right? And even monozygotic is greater than dizygotic twins. Monozygotic twins have more chances when compared with dizygotic, because dizygotic are dichorionic, diamniotic, right? Whereas monozygotic, in that only you have this monochorionic types, two types, right? So except cumulative risk of chromosomal anomaly, so sometimes there will be chromosomal anomalies also. Now coming to fetal complications, that is what is chromosomal anomaly. So what kinds of chromosomal anomaly we will find out, let us check out. The cumulative risk of chromosomal anomaly is seen in dizygotic when compared with monozygotic. So dizygotic greater than monozygotic. But in the case of complications, normal complications, in monozygotic is greater, but chromosomal dizygotic is greater. Okay, so let us see first in monozygotic what there is. Monozygotic, you know, one zygote will divide into two, right? So the risk of chromosomal anomaly is X%. Okay, whereas in dizygotic there are two zygotes, right? Already there are two zygotes, so the risk of chromosomal anomaly is 2x%. That you need to understand. Here monozygotic, only single one will divide, but here two zygotes are forming already. So this two zygotes means there is 2x% of problem. So there is higher problem in dizygotic. So first let us discuss about trisomy 21. Okay, so for example trisomy 21, we'll take example of this trisomy 21 in both monozygotic and dizygotic. So in monozygotic, this trisomy 21, for example, if one zygote have trisomy 21, it will divide into two, so both of them will have trisomy 21. So test for aneuploidy sample from one of the twins is sufficient, because single one is dividing into two, so both will have, of course, trisomy 21. So if you take test from either this one, you will get it. Okay, so coming to dizygotic, here zygote 1 is formed, zygote 2 is formed, right? And the zygote 1 will have Down syndrome, or the zygote 2 may have Down syndrome. It is, or sometimes both may have, because we don't know, there are like different zygotes are forming. As this monozygote is forming from the single zygote, we can easily predict that, but here we can't predict this. Okay, so none may have, both may have, so the test for aneuploidy sample should be taken from both times. So here test only one, here test both of them, because we don't know, sometimes in one it may be, in one it may not be, and sometimes in both it may be. Okay, So now coming to complications of monochorionic twins. Especially in monochorionic twins, what kind of complication we are saying from before video that it is bad prognosis. What is it? The first one is vascular anastomosis between twin. In case of deep anastomosis, they have TTTS, twin to twin transfusion syndrome, right? They are having this syndrome. So next one is they are having a cardiac twin, that is in one twin there is no heart. And next one is twin anemia polycythemia sequence, that is TAPS. Okay, TIMS anemia polycythemia sequence, that is one twin will be having anemia because it is giving all its blood to the another one, and another one will having more cells, so that it will be having polycythemia. Okay, and that is TAPS. And next another one is selective IUGR. There will be intrauterine growth restriction in one of the twin. Okay, and there is congenital malformations. So all these are high chances in especially monochorionic twins. Okay, and sixth one is specific complications may be present. So monochorionic, monoamniotic, in that twin, especially monochorionic, monoamniotic, they have cord entanglement. Already we discussed this in previous video, right? Because there is no membrane between them, the amniotic fluid will mix and the cords will get twisted and entangled. Now coming to vascular anastomosis, let us discuss this in somewhat detail. Okay, so vascular anastomosis. Vascular anastomosis is divided into superficial, deep. Okay, superficial vascular anastomosis is most common variety, and most common type in that is artery to artery anastomosis. So that is from the one twin to the other twin, the artery to artery will anastomose. Okay, so in the superficial, it's a most common variety, and the most common type is artery to artery anastomosis, and it's bidirectional blood flow. So for example, if you have two twins, this is A, this is B, so there is having a vessel which will come from either A to B or sometime B to A. So they will move like this, the blood will move artery to artery anastomosis. There is no permanent donor or no permanent recipient because both are sending the blood together, and there is no twin to twin transfusion syndrome, right? And mostly seen in monochorionic, monoamniotic twins. So this is most common in monochorionic, monoamniotic because there is no membrane in between, so they will easily transfer the blood. And remember here once again I am saying there is no TTTS, that is twin to twin transfer syndrome is not present here. Okay, so now coming to deep anastomosis. This is also, in this also the most common type is artery to vein. Here artery to vein, there artery to artery. In superficial, artery to artery. In deep, artery to vein. Okay, and it occurs at the level of capillary bed, at the rate capillary bed. So it will occur at capillary bed. It's having only unidirectional flow, so from A to B. For example, A will be giving, so A is the donor, B is the recipient, right? So it is at the rate capillary blood, one artery to the vein. Okay, so A is a permanent donor, B is a permanent recipient, and here you will see TTTS, that is twin to twin transfer syndrome is present here, and mostly it is seen in monochorionic diamniotic because there is amniotic fluid in between, so they will flow, they'll have artery to vein connection here. Okay, so this is TTTS is more common here, TTTS is not common here. So this you need to see in superficial and deep anastomosis. Now let us see exactly what is twin to twin transverse syndrome, that is our TTTS. Okay, so twin to twin transverse syndrome is mainly seen in monochorionic diamniotic twin. So in monochorionic diamniotic twin you will see twin to twin transverse syndrome, and you also see deep anastomosis, right? We have seen before. Okay, so this deep artery of a twin A will send the blood to the deep vein of twin B. So this is twin A, this is twin B. Here from the artery the blood will go to the vein. Okay, so this will be the donor, this will be the recipient, and here the donor will be having anemia because it is giving the blood to B, and here the recipient will have polycythemia because there is lot of cells here. Okay, and this because of polycythemia there is chance of thrombosis in twin B because of more blood, clots are formed, and in anemia you will see sinusoidal heart fetal heart rate pattern. Okay, and it is seen in donor twin, vasa previa RH incompatibility, all this will be seen in donor twin. Peak systolic velocity of middle cerebral artery is also raised, that is peak systolic velocity is also raised. Okay, because of the sinusoidal pattern of heart rate, because of anemia, there's chance of vasa previa RH incompatibility. Now let us see the hemoglobin difference. If you see the hemoglobin difference, it is greater than or equal to 5 grams per dl in both twins, that is equal to TAPS. Hemoglobin is greater than 5 in both twins. Okay, so what is TAPS? Already we discussed before, that is twin anemia polycythemia sequence, right? So in TAPS it is divided into as a part of TTS, tin to tin transfer syndrome, and as an isolated feature. In isolated feature it is greater than or equal to 26 weeks. Here twin to twin transfer syndrome, oligo and polyhydramnios are seen in the twins. Oligo plus poly. The donor will have oligo, the recipient will have poly, right? Here 26, there is no oligo or no polyamnios in twins. Now coming to peak systolic velocity of middle cerebral artery. Here it is divided into donor, recipient. The donor is having 1.5 greater than 1.5 and the recipient is having less than 1. Here donor will have low growth because of this, and the recipient will have more growth. Okay, so this is leading to discordant growth. Discordant growth means differential growth because of this system. Discordant growth. Difference in body weight of fetus will be greater than or equal to 20%, with the larger twin being taken as index. Abdominal circumference in the USG will be greater than or equal to 20 millimeters, and biparietal diameter will be greater than or equal to 6 millimeters. So next let us see oligohydramnios and donor twin. We will also see oligohydramnios in donor twin, polyhydramnios and recipient twin. So because of that there is low blood flow, low renal blood flow, low GFR, low urine output. So coming to TOPS, that is twin oligo poly sequence. Here that is if one twin has oligohydramnios, the other twin will have polyhydramnios. Okay, so finally according to ACOG, definitive features on USG which diagnose that twin to twin transfer syndrome. So twin to twin transfer syndrome, you will be having monochorionic diamniotic twins, and also you will be having TOPS, that in one twin you will have oligohydramnios, in one twin you have polyhydramnios. So increase risk of renal failure in donor twin. So RAS system is activated here in donor. Next, increase risk of congestive heart failure in recipient twin. So cyclic ANP is activated here. So this you need to say, in donor RAS system is activated, in recipient there is congestive heart failure and cyclic AMP is activated. So by this we completed part 1. Next we will start with part 2 in another video.